my streams is rejected. Let's see what's going on here. Alright, we're live on YouTube, but let's try and connect this over to the Facebook. Luckily, we're starting early today. We're starting about 3 minutes early, so if you are watching on YouTube, feel free to jump ahead 3 minutes while I get my tech going. Or just hang out here with me. Watch my face change as I figure it out. New stream key, I guess. See if this works. No, does not want to do it. Publish rejected. Ouch. Oh, look who we got here. Hey Spark, nice to see you. Oh. I see Marcus, hello. Elliot, hello. Mom and Dad, hi. I am a few minutes early. Could you tell I might have stayed home sick today? Maybe you couldn't tell, now you know. Alright, what is it silly worry about here? Streaming software, copy. Let's try this one. Ooh. Right. This is not fun for me. What does it want from me? Might not be able to go live on Facebook today, guys. I'm sorry. Not that I have to apologize to you right now. You're watching on YouTube, so I just need to do a little post here. It says I'm not going to be here. Let's try one more time. Publish rejected. It's not giving me very much information. Welp, that's that. Do a nice little link here. Alright, well, perfect time for the end of the song, and it's 6 o'clock. Hello, welcome to our show today. So I'm going to keep this on the shorter side because I have come down with another cold, and I'm not feeling great. Let's see. So I'm going to just link. And I'm not feeling great. Get some reverb going here. I'm going to post this in my Facebook, tell people where to go. And here's the story, guys. We found kittens under our porch. And okay, catch the live stream on YouTube today. Posting this to Facebook and tech problems with Facebook. Post. Okay, here, let's jump into the real show here. Yes, so it is, yeah, Sparks at 7. Hi, Laura. Thanks for saying hi. Thank you. Glad that you like my outfit. It is kind of pumpkin spice. Very nice, isn't it? The kittens under our porch. We discovered them last week in the morning, we were sleeping with the window open because it's so cool and nice, and it's just that wonderful, cool fall air that everyone sleeps so well to, right? And we hear this like persistent, like meow, 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 and I'm making a meow sound, but it was more of an, you couldn't really tell what animal it was. It could be a bird, it could just be an animal trapped somewhere. So I get up, I go outside, and I'm trying to, use my echolocation to figure out where it's coming from. It's coming from underneath me, under the porch. Go under, and I can see a little animal moving. I'm like, that's a kitten. And I crawl under there, and then I look over and I see another. I'm like, oh my gosh. So instinct is, hey, these are abandoned kittens. I put them in my sweater, like kind of like tuck it in and like carrying them inside. And I'm like, okay, checking them out. They look really healthy, actually. They're, they don't look skinny or anything like that, but their ears are still tucked and their eyes aren't even open, which Google tells me that means they're only about a week old. Maybe not even a whole week old. So we're like, okay, what do we do? Google says, put them back. Mom will come. Okay. But also Google says, if you want, you could build them a little shelter. So we do. Build them a little shelter with, I don't know, like a storage box, right? With, it's got a, something you could put a lid on, but we didn't. What we did is we just kind of draped, we put some towels down inside, and then we draped like a piece of fabric over the top. So Mom could get in, through the gap, but it would also be like sheltering the little kittens. So I would go and check on them every morning and every night. And yep, they're still meowing. They're still down there. There was a day it was raining. I went down there. I'm like, oh my God, what if that bin fills with water and they drown? Oh my God. So like, I always kind of had these kittens on my mind, but I'd always go down and check on them. Every time I open it up, they'd still be meowing and moving. And I'm like, okay. Oh, and I found two. Bert found the third one later in the day. That's how there came to be 3 kittens total. So, so we find that, come last night, I went down and checked on them, and one of them was like on its side, and its eyes were closed, and it was hardly moving. And I reached down and I touched the towels that they were on, right? And they were wet. And I hadn't even really thought of this, but the cats, are probably, they have to pee somewhere, and they're peeing on this, what I thought was going to be comfort, warm thing. And so I take the cats inside and realize none of them are looking good. They've lost a lot of weight, and they don't seem to be developing the way that Google says that they should be. So I'm like, okay, we have baby formula in the house. We don't have kitten formula, but I know that they don't do good on cow's milk, and they need something. They need nutrients. And I'm holding this one, and it is limp in my hand. And like, I can tell it's still alive just a little bit because you can just see the little legs once in a while move, but it is like, I'm like, it's not going to make it. And my heart is breaking because we set up this shelter to save the cats, to help the cats, and it has hurt the cats. Might have even killed one of the cats. So I'm freaking out a little, and I'm like, not sure if I'm going to be able to emotionally handle this. I'm pulling up comments here too, guys. Sorry, that's what I'm distracted by right now. I'm having one of those wonderful tech days today. Kittens under our porch, that's what I want. Turn it on. There we go. View the chat. So I'm, all right, so now I can pull comments up on the screen if I need to. And we are, I'm freaking out. The kids are in bed, right? So this is like 10 o'clock last night. And so I take that pretty much dead kitten, and I put it under my shirt up against my skin, and I'm just like rubbing it kind of like through. Now, did anyone else watch the animated version of 101 Dalmatians like 101 times in their childhood? Because that's what was going through my mind in that moment. You remember that scene where he rubs Lucky, and Lucky all of a sudden like comes back to life? It's like that. That's where it came from, and that's what I was doing last night. So I'm warming up this little kitten who is, I can tell the reason that it's not doing well is because it's so wet. I don't know if that was the one that peed or if it was just like on the wet part of the towel or what, but it is cold and it is wet, and it does not have body heat. It does not have body temperature. Like it's cold, that cold. It's scary. And I'm staring at Bert, and he's looking at me like, what are you doing with these kittens in the house? What is your plan? Why did you bring them in without a plan? And I'm like, well, if I leave them out there, they're for sure going to die. So we stir up this baby formula, and we happen to have a syringe from when we gave, not like a syringe with a needle, but a syringe like to give medicine to a cat. We still happen to have one of those clean laying around from Joe's Medicine. And I stir up the formula, baby formula, put it in there, and I'm like, come on, please take it. And I'm like, putting into their, and they're like, what is this thing? It's not my mom, but they taste it, and they start to lick a little. I'm like, oh my God, they're taking it. So we got them each to take a little bit of this stuff. Even the one that was like, even that one, we were able to kind of just put the thing in its mouth and like get the formula down. And so I stayed up with them making a new little, in the studio I have a heater over here because I get so cold. And so we turned it up to 80 degrees. I made a nice, clean, dry little bed for them. And then we took glass jars and filled it with warm water and then put the towel over that. So they had a nice warm surface to be on. And they were meowing constantly. I mean, like, it was loud. Like, so the two mute and the almost dead one didn't make any noise, but the other two made up for it. So I was like, what are we gonna do? We tried texting our friends who like actually know how to. They foster like babies like this, kittens, and they're like, yeah, just best you can do is hope they make it through the night and then call in the morning. So I go to bed just like I'm gonna wake up to a dead kitten. I know it, and I decide, kittens are at this age supposed to be fed every like few hours, like two to 4 hours. So I wake up in the middle of the night. I wake up at 1 to 2 in the morning, come down here, and I have like a heavy blanket over me, draped over me, trying to muffle the sound, in my studio so that I'm not waking up the house from their meows. Because as soon as they sense someone there, they start meowing. Anyway, so I feed them again with the little syringe and the formula, and the little one is still alive, guys. I was like so relieved. I was so relieved because this is obviously carrying so much more emotional weight than just a little kitten. It's the idea that I'm fostering now like these babies for another mother that I want to find and return them to, and it is all just so much symbolism and just like, oh my God. And then beyond that also like bringing up feelings of me being a mother and losing my baby, and it was just so emotionally packed, and like I was like, I had a cold, and I'm tearing up now, even like just like reliving what I went through last night doing this. And there was no time for tears last night. There was only like, think, Lynn, what can we do? How do we save these kittens? So this morning I wake up, I'm like, please let them be alive. They were all alive. They made it through the night. And that tiny one that was almost dead last night, it was moving around, guys. It was moving around, and it looked alive. It looked like it had never been on the brink of death. It was amazing. Now, its meow is so teeny tiny, and its eyes are still not quite open. It is definitely the smallest out of them, but it is kicking and fighting. It is going to make it. So I returned to Google today. I'm like, I'm going to call Paws. I'm going to call Treehouse Cats. I'm going to call animal control. I'm gonna get these cats picked up. Now Google says don't do that. The best way for kittens this age to make it is to get their mom to come back, right? Now cats are one of those animals that are, you say don't touch a baby bird because then the mom won't come back to it, or the squirrels, or whatever animal it is, right? But that's not the case for cats. What mama cats want is just to know that there's not a human around when they're taking care of their cat. So I go ahead and like, Bert, all right, because I did go to work today. I came home early because they're like, Lynn, you're sick, go home. So I got sent home. But Bert actually also fed them, and he was so proud. He's like, the little ones ate the most. It was great. So we co-parented on this. And then Google says, return them to where, the mother left them. Now I made a new shelter. I made this one is one of those bins, but this time we actually put an electric heat pad in there because it is cold outside. It's like 40 degrees here, which Marcus, I think in Celsius, what is that, like 8 degrees, something like that? I don't know. It's cold. And I don't know what Celsius is. Anyways, it's, we have to go and take care of the heat down here. So we run an extension cord. I cut a hole so that this thing can lay at the bottom, put some blankets over it, make sure it's not too hot, right? I don't want to start a fire under my porch, and I also don't want to burn these kittens. So I was like super careful, waited. I'm like, okay, this is the right temperature. And if they lay on it, they're going to feel it, but it's not going to be so warm they get burned. Then I cut out a hole so that mama can get in through the side. She doesn't have to jump in through the top, but it's high up enough where the kittens can't get out, hopefully. One of them is pretty athletic, so we'll find out. Then, right, here's the test. How do we know mom is coming? And I read this on Google too. Spread flour on the floor outside of the thing so you can see the paw prints. If mama comes to visit, you know everything's okay. Now, if there's no paw prints tonight when we go to bed, and you do need to wait, you have to be patient, right? If mama even senses, someone's waiting and watching, she's not going to come. So we just have to be patient and hope that mama comes by bedtime. Now, if they don't come by bedtime, we're going to bring them back inside, put them in the warmth, and we'll do the little syringe feeding again. We'll try this one more time tomorrow, and if mama still doesn't come, then we know we need to do one of these foster situations with a human. And the sad thing is even if a human gets involved, you have to wake up like every few hours to feed them and everything. And they say that like the success rate of this is only something like 32%. So I'm like, oh man, this is stressful. But luckily we have friends that have done this before, so I feel like we're in good hands. Anyway, Bert's saying nearly 0%. I don't know if that was the timing is for that. Anyway, let me check your comments here. This is some Game of Thrones prophecy. 3 kittens for 3 foster kids taken in. I know. Well, they all live. Thanks for the emojis here. My dad is referencing as a child, I found some squirrels on the ground when I was out on my bike one day, and I picked them up, put them in 2 baby squirrels, and I'm like, well, they're not in their nest, I'm a kid, I want to save them. So I put them in my shirt, kind of like I did the other, last week with the kittens, and I rode home, and I'm like, look what I got, 2 squirrels. We raised them. I think that the reason they may have been kicked out of their nest, and who knows really why, but they may have been sick, in the first place. They didn't end up making it. They did grow quite a bit, and they did kind of attach to us humans. But anyway, hello, Kim. Thanks for saying hi. So interestingly, I thought that our kids would really be interested in the kittens, but other than kind of taking a quick look at them, they're not like, oh, can I hold it, or oh, can I help, or anything like that. There's not a real interest in them. So I don't know why. I haven't asked. I've offered a few times, like, hey, do you want to help with the kittens? And not really. Okay. I don't know if you heard that, but that's one of the kids playing video games. Hi, Laura. All right, guys. Thanks so much for hopping over here to hang out with me today. So that's my foster kitten story, and I'll keep you posted on how that goes. Hopefully these kittens make it, because I don't know if I can take that heartbreak right now if any of them don't. I'm really tempted to go check on them before bedtime to see, oh, do you need me to feed you, because it's been a while. But I have to be patient. I know they'll make it up to bedtime. They're in a clean, warm environment right now. So how is all this relating kind of, you can kind of imagine how this is emotionally relating to what's going on. But we're continuing to have ups and downs. We celebrated, let's say, our 3-week anniversary last Thursday with the kids. By celebrate, it was like, oh, it's been 3 weeks, and we didn't really do anything, but there was an acknowledgement that they've been with us that long. So that makes today, I guess, we're just shy of having them for a month, which is what we had originally agreed to have them stay with us for, was 1 month. Now, plans have changed, and things are getting interesting, and I'm not allowed to talk about the case, as you know, but there is a chance that these kids might stay with us longer, and we don't know how much longer, but there is a possibility it could be a year. But as we've learned from all of our fostering experiences so far in this household, time doesn't really mean anything when they tell you a time frame, right? So the way we do it, day by day. And you kind of have to hope and plan that there's going to be a next week. in order to do things like set up, customs, rituals. So I'm going to share the one we did, and then we'll see how I'm feeling. I might cut our episode after this story. So we are, we're learning each other, and we've learned, some of the areas that the kids need to work on. One of them has a big test coming up, and the other one is, been sent home some homework that is optional. And so we said, let's gamify things, right? Because that's what me and Bert do. And we also are part of a foster parent training thing right now where we got this amazing idea, and feel free to use this too, even if you're not a foster family, you just have a family, especially with high schoolers or middle schoolers or kids who love snacks. So what they do every week is they have a snack draft, okay? So they go to Costco, right? Assume you have more than, one or two very hungry kids. Maybe even if you have just two, whatever. And you get, bulk size of the, snack bags at like Costco or wherever. We get our residual. We only, we got 18, I think. It was we need more than that, but excuse me. Let's get to it, Lynn. So you have let's say you have 30 snack bags, okay? And make sure you get a variety. That's key here. Let the kids have input on which snacks that they get to choose from. And then they give them a basket or a bag. We used a bag, okay? Then what we did is 9 rounds because we got an 18 box and we're going to have 9 snacks per kid. But which ones are up to them. They get first choice if they answer their math problem first correctly. And there's also wager rounds. So we use play money. And we're like, okay, so if you bet higher, if you have a higher wager, you pay that, but you get first pick on your snack, and then you also get you're the first turn in the next round for answering the question, because we took turns with the next 2 rounds. Now, if you want me to actually document all of our rules, I have it written down. I won't go through all of them there. Guys, it was a wild success. I am so proud of myself and Bert for coming up with this and just taking this idea of a snack draft and then tying it into the things that, we can encourage them to do math and, work on the things that they need to do for school. They had a blast, and, they were different questions. So we made the questions, for what level that they're at. And then they get extra points if they show their work. So you can't use your fingers to figure out the math. You actually have to do it the way that you're supposed to be learning in school. Yeah. This is a great question. So Dad's asking, can you put a webcam on the nest? I have asked this of my husband, and he says, no, we can't do that. Obviously we can, but he's like, I'm not going to go and buy another camera just to put it on the cats. I'm like, come on. However, I do have a live streaming channel. What if I just had a live stream of the kittens? That's how I'll hit 1,000 subscribers. Oh my God. I think I have cords long enough. This is a great idea. Okay, this might happen if they're still alive. We'll see. We'll see, guys. We don't want to encroach on and also I don't want to show a dead kitten in the middle of the night. If I'm not watching this and something happens to those kittens, that could be a disaster. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. Oh, I see your comments coming through. Laura's saying kittens live, and Elliot's like Team Bert on this one. Yeah, no, you don't need a camera on these kittens, but I've got my own camera. I don't need Bert on this. Anyway, so guys, there you go. If you need a way to so here's the thing with Snack Draft, right? Because you're like, why, Lynn? Well, what's the big deal of them picking their snacks? So these are their snacks for the whole week. So they have not only, their choice in snacks, but they have to also, on their own, figure out how they're going to make their snacks last until the next snack draft. Sure, they can use their allowance and go buy more snacks if they want to, but is that really the best use of their allowance if they can practice self-control? And we even help them, we're like, okay, think about this. You usually put snacks in your lunch, and then you usually have a snack bag after school, and then sometimes you like to do it at night. So you now have to limit that. You have to pick which ones you want them. I was very surprised. Neither kid took a snack bag in their lunch today. So that was kind of cool. And their lunches are normally like a PB&J or Lunchables. If we get a couple Lunchables a week. I know. What are we made of? Money over here? I don't know. Bert says they're not that expensive. But they also get grapes, carrots, and I can't remember what the other thing was. They're a pretty good lunch. And then, so I guess, the snack bags, the chips, they didn't need them. Or maybe they're trading for them at school. I don't know. All right, guys, I'm going to need you teaming up over here. The live kitten thing is probably going to happen, so just get over it. Maybe. So anyway, I would love, do you have any hacks like this that, along the lines of the snack draft, anything like that you can, that you want to share with the group? Go ahead and put it in the comments if you want to. I'll hang out here for another minute and see if anything comes through. Or ways to kind of motivate your kids to, I'm not talking like just chores, but how do you kind of help them practice new good habits? I remember my sister being able to, when it was, and I'm sorry if this is embarrassing, I should frame it in the more way. I remember my parents using a technique like, if you go to the bathroom and the toilet, this is during like potty training days, there'd be a basket of like little wrapped like presents there. So if you went to the bathroom, you got a present. I remember that being effective. Now, I don't know if that's my memory of it. But I remember that was a good, positive reinforcement way of doing something, creating a good behavior. One of the things we're challenged with, and this is our idea right now, we have to flesh it out a bit more. So the kids both have made it known that they would really like a new phone. Now, used phones are actually not that expensive. They seem to, it has a high perceived value by these kids. I'm going to save up my allowance. Half my allowance is going to save up for a new phone and everything. Now, we also have some things that, we want to work on. Like I mentioned, the math and everything. There's some other more, we've had a couple calls from teachers, let's just say, that we need to work on those kinds of things. So how do we make that measurable? Like how do we say, oh, okay, you were good at school today. So you get, a $10, like towards your goal of having a phone. Now, not real $10, right? So we can set a monetary amount to these phones from the lost and found that have been there for over a year. So I feel like they're okay to take. And I've already talked to a friend. All I have to do is wipe them, and then they can use them just like they have been on the Wi-Fi. And we're good to go. Boom. This is a $0 investment. I know that you might not have a lost and found you have access to, but hear me out. This is using our resources, the tools that we have, right? And what I think what we'll do, right, is we will say, okay, the phone here, maybe I'll even put it in a case so they can see it, it's like a visual thing. And then there will be like a list. Okay, if you clean your room, you get, $10 towards your phone. And if you, get a good comment from your teacher, here's a certain amount. We'll set small amounts, $5, $1, $5, and $10 type of things, so that it takes them a while to get to this. It's an earned thing, and hopefully by then they have these learned behaviors that have improved. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Thoughts? Because this was this idea is something that Bert and I started kind of discussing today. It's a new one. We have not made the rules, and there will have to be rules. And I think that there might be, we can do this because, did I show you? Yeah, last week I showed you the play money, I think, that we've been using, and it looks really real. It's like so satisfying to hold and count. I'm like, yeah, I'm rich. Because there's $100 bills and $50 bills. It's exciting. But I think that this could also be a good way where if, they did something bad, like, hey, you need to pay a penalty, a fine. So it's kind of related to that, hey, continuing good behavior, but also, hey, this knocked you down a little bit. It's, it's, you can redeem yourself and you can recover from it, but hey, you need, Anyway, thanks, Paul. Love that you're jacking stuff from the lost and found. And to be fair, these are old, like, models, like super old, like they're not super fancy, but they're a lot better than what they have, which is nothing. And also the other one has like a cracked screen, so it's not that great. So it's kind of easy to level up here. Yeah, I'm going through them. I have 3 options. One of them won't charge past 1%, so I think that one's out. So I think I only actually have 2 options. But the kids made wish lists for Christmas that our foster parent advocate, shares with a very generous group of people. We've donated to, foster kids wish list before. You get the list of a kid, and then you get as much or as little from that list as you want to for the child. And so like there's like categories like, you know, the things you should get them, like, you know, shirts or shoes or whatever that is, you know, and then like the big thing. So she put iPhone on there for them, and I'm like, I didn't tell you to put iPhone on there. She's like, well, that's the thing, is that I put iPhone 6 and they're only $80 at the store. I'm like, oh, okay, well then in that case, yeah, that's a great idea. But now they might end up with another phone at Christmas. It'll be interesting. So anyway, we'll build rules around this, and maybe I'll tell her, hey, can you scratch off that phone off the list because we don't actually need it anymore. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, I like the earn the phone idea. I'm glad that yeah. And it's a big thing, again, high perceived value. So it's something that they, you know, can work up, you know, not overnight, not in 1 week type of thing. So thank you. Lynn, can you please grab me a jacket? Paul, $10 goes toward your jacket. Yeah, exactly. You got it, Paul. And good to see you, by the way. Oh, it's always nice. Yeah, sorry, Kelly. I was having tech problems over on Facebook. I posted a note there. I know people don't always see those. I apologize. Yes, there is teen night tonight. I think we're going to get the kids over there after dinner, which Bird is finishing up. So I should probably sign off in a few minutes and head over. I don't see any other examples of what you guys have done, you know, creative like stuff. But if something pops up, or if you're watching in the replay, feel free to leave a comment with, you know, what you've done. Excuse me, that was gross. It was a little hiccup burp. Leave it in the comments if you want to. You can do this later too if you're watching live and like it comes to you. So find the YouTube thing, put in the comments, and then everyone can see it there. Maybe I'll even put some more of my ideas down there. We'll see how it goes. But we'll continue to keep you updated on the kittens and how this iPhone earning, or this cell phone, I shouldn't say they're iPhones. They're not necessarily iPhones. Cell phone earning, I guess, project goes. And we'll just, you know, continue to keep you updated on everything else too. Thank you guys for watching and hanging out with me and switching over to YouTube today. If you're usually one of the Facebook people, it was a nice crowd. I'm sorry that I have to sign off, but I am, my throat's starting to tickle, and I'm going to do some coughing soon. So there you go. Thanks for hanging with me. I'm going to roll the credits and sign off here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye. Oh, not this song. This song's so silly. How about this one? Yeah, I like this one. It's a good outro. I see your comment, Dad. Yeah, getting involved with the kittens, maybe? Maybe. Thanks, Mom. Bye, Marcus. Thanks for staying up and watching.